collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at WKB-07 Energy Beast DrillNoHorn from Transformers Wild King from Takara Tomy. So if you guys know me at all, I've been having such a fun time with this line. Very excited to finally get some more. We had 4 new releases here at the end of June, and it looks like one of them, as you can see in the picture here, I believe his name is Thunderbeak. He has the ability to actually make it a 5 combiner with either Optimus or Megatron. So that's really, really cool. We'll take a look at that in a later video, but it is featured prominently here on the front of the box, as well as some nice artwork for DrillNoHorn in robot mode, and then the actual toy product here in the Rhino mode. Up here showing, I believe, what is actually the toy here in robot mode, and then not really much going on down there. Over here showing you all the different pieces that come with it, and then over here again just showing the robot mode for DrillNoHorn. And then on the back here again we have product shots of the robot mode and the Rhino mode. I gotta say, this one's gonna be very, very similar to Hydrophant in the way that like the legs and everything transform. It's really just kind of a different head with the head of a rhino instead of the head of an elephant. Again, in the color scheme, of course. It looks like it even has the same tail, if I'm not mistaken, but we'll compare that. So, yeah, very cool. Gonna go ahead and get this one out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. So here is DrillNoHorn out of the packaging. He is primarily this kind of brown and like peachy tan color with a little bit of gray and silver mixed in. I really like the head sculpt. I like the visor there. I think that looks pretty good. You have the element piece here. I'm assuming this is some kind of like earth or rock element that we got going on here. It kind of looks like it's got some crystals going on, which is kind of cool. He does have this little pickaxe weapon. I misspoke. I thought that this was the same as the one that came with Hydrophant. It's actually the same as the one that comes with Lightlong. If we bring Lightlong in here, you can see that that is the same axe piece, just in a different color. So, pretty much reusing some pieces here. We have the Rhino head, which looks pretty good. Tiny little blue eyes there, but otherwise molded nice. You can see he's actually got drills for the horns. Would have been nice if they were painted silver, but I get it, that's fine. But yeah, all in all, I think he looks pretty good. Articulation is going to be very standard for these. I think every single one of these has the exact same articulation. Head cannot move, but you have kind of a swivel here at the shoulder to give you a little up and down there. It can only go about that far, maybe 45 degrees. You can also move front to back. You have a bicep swivel right there. Mine's a little tight. You can also move the leg, or I should say what will be the leg, but is here the arm. So you have a 90-degree bend there at the elbow. You have a waist swivel. You have a ball joint for the hip, so you can kick pretty far forward, pretty far back. If we move the arm pretty far out to the side there. Now, this is his actual knee, but he does have some joints down here. This is going to be for the transformation, so he's kind of got like a weird double-jointed shin. But again, that's for the transformation. You can move the toe here up and down a little bit, but no ankle tilt. You also have a thigh swivel here, but you can't really... Well, I guess this one seems to be moving a little bit more. Some of the other ones, it was a little tighter, trying to go this way. This out to the side was always no problem, but this way, so you do have a little bit of a thigh swivel there. But yeah, again, pretty standard articulation for these guys. I love him. I think he looks great. Again, if we want to bring his comrades in with Lightlong and Hydrophant, the other members of the Animal Tribe, I think they're called. It's the Animal Tribe and the Dinosaur Tribe, I believe. So these are the 3 we have so far for the Animal Tribe. Looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and get into DrillNoHorn's transformation. So we're going to start off by just kind of removing all of these accessories. We'll take the Rhino head off. We'll take his little pickaxe out of there and his little element piece as well. You're going to come around to the back, and this part is going to pop straight back. And that will allow the head to flip in, and then you can close it right back up. Then we are going to spin the arms like this so that they can come up and connect together right there. And then you're going to straighten out what will be the animal legs and straighten them like this. So that's pretty much the front. Then you're going to spin him at the waist 180 degrees. Again, the joints on mine are really tight, but hopefully over time they'll get a little bit looser. Then we're going to peg the legs here together like this, right there like that. And then we are going to extend out the toes. We are going to utilize this extra joint that I talked about in the shin. And again, the joints on mine are really tight. But get that going up like that. And you can see that the actual rhino feet are going to be here instead of here. So what was the robot toes are not going to be the same toes for the rhino. So we're going to bend this up like that. And then just bring this whole piece straight down like so. Then we are going to take the weapon, and you can see that there's a large rectangular tab right there, and that is going to tab in right there for the tail. So that's going to go in there, and then you just kind of bend the gray piece down like a 45-degree angle for the tail. Then we're going to take the rhino head, and we have to switch the connector from the 1 peg to the 2 peg, and that's going to peg in here on the front, just like so. And then you can just take this and pop this on the back here. I think it just pegs straight into the chest where it was before. So I guess technically you could leave that on the whole time if you wanted, but it might get in the way. But there is DrillNoHorn in Rhino mode. So DrillNoHorn's Rhino mode looks pretty good. Kind of a standard transformation here, just to bring in Hydrophant again. You can see that kind of the whole back area transforms exactly the same. Kind of the same with the front as well. It's just the 2 different animal heads. The tails attach very similarly, but of course it's a different weapon. But if we also bring in Light Long, you can see that his attaches. So they all kind of have the same little like dinky tail off the back. But I think all 3 of these guys are looking pretty cool. Again, having our nice little grouping of our animal tribe members here. I think it's funny because these 2 are so ridiculously similar, and then Light Long is so tall next to them. Kind of want to do it like this. There we go. It's a little bit more symmetrical. But yeah, very cool. Love seeing these guys all together. They do definitely share some components, but I'm still having a lot of fun with the line. So transforming DrillNoHorn into an arm to work with Optimus. We're going to put Optimus off to the side for a moment. The transformation is going to be very, very similar to the transformation to Rhino mode. We're going to remove all of these pieces. We are going to once again drop the head back and pop that in and then close it up. We're going to bring the arms up over the head and connect them together. And then straighten out the legs like so. Make sure that's all connected together. This time, however, we are not going to spin him at the waist. We are just going to connect the legs here together like this. And then we are going to use the knee bend to just kind of bring these up and sit them here like this. So a slightly different transformation. And then we are going to take, I guess we'll take this and we'll pop this. You can see that there's a connector right here. So we're going to peg that in there. And then we are going to bring Optimus back. We are going to disconnect the arm. We're going to take the helmet off the back of the axe. Peg that into the back of his head. Remove the axe from his hand. Open up his leg. And for Optimus, we can actually store the leg inside here, or the arm inside, rather. So pop that in. There we go. That will peg in like that, and then we can close that back up. Unfortunately for Megatron, that does not work, but then we are going to take this, change the connector to the 2 again, and connect that here to the side of Optimus's arm. And then we are going to take this and connect it right here, like so. Bring down this section of Optimus's chest and peg in the elemental piece. And there we have DrillNoHorn connected as an arm for Optimus. Looks pretty cool. You don't have to use the weapon if you don't want to. Unfortunately, well, actually, I guess, no, it's the same connector, so you could put this axe in the arm as well if you wanted to. But yeah, looks pretty good. Little, you know, the proportions with just the arms are a little top heavy, but still looks pretty cool. Now we can also move him into a leg configuration. So I've gone ahead and disconnected him as an arm, and I've moved the element piece down to this quadrant because we're going to pop him onto this leg. So we're going to pop this off like so, and you can see that that connection is exactly the same. We're going to take this and fold this down, and then we're going to disconnect this piece, which was on the back of the leg. We'll just put that off to the side. Then you're going to take the same transformation. You don't really have to change it at all. You're just going to peg it now into the bottom here. And then you can take the rhino head and you could peg it in here or here. I'm going to choose to put it here. And then you can just go ahead and connect this like so. Now technically you're supposed to switch because the wheels should be on the outside, and it obviously doesn't make sense to only have one leg because now he's just hopping around, but just to show you quickly how it's supposed to work. Usually with the animal head you do the bottom one because they sit a little bit higher, but the rhino head hangs down so low that I think you probably could do it on this one if you wanted, and I don't think it would get in the way of anything. Sometimes with the others, because they're bigger, you know, they would get in the way, but so you put them down here. But like I said, the rhino head hangs so low, and it did kind of look silly attached to the shoulder there because it hung down so low. But yeah, that's how you do the connection for the leg. You don't have to change. The transformation to either limb is exactly the same. It's just how you connect it. But yeah, there you go. Let's see, can he bounce on one leg? Yeah, he can. I think DrillNoHorn is a lot of fun. It definitely shares a lot of design elements from Hydrophant. I mean, the arms and the legs are pretty much exactly the same, but you are getting the new rhino head, the new head sculpt, and the new elemental piece. The weapon is reused from Light Long. I mean, we're going to see some part reusage as this line continues, but I still love it. I mean, like I said, yes, they're not 100% unique. I don't really need them to be. They still transform into fun animals. You can make them arms and legs for Optimus or Megatron. I think that's a lot of fun. I will say that because the rhino head hangs so low in some of the orientations, especially on the shoulder pad for Optimus, it looks a little silly. Doesn't look as bad as a leg, so maybe I'll make him a leg when I do the combinations. But yeah, still a really fun, welcome addition to the line. I didn't bother to show off like a 4 combiner. We've seen that in past videos. Now that we have more than 4, you can do combinations, just kind of switching out the limbs for Optimus or Megatron. Shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I just think this guy's another fun little figure to add to the collection. I'm really having fun with this line and looking forward to what comes next. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. And as always, thanks so much for watching.